Hey, it's Bill. You're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 820. With me tonight is Laura Rullo. If you're just tuning in, you missed the first segment. We learned all about her writing process and about her album. So she got like the straight, normal kind of interview, and now I'm going to hit her with some Pennsylvania Rock Show questions. And those of you that are familiar with the show are probably laughing. So I kind of prepped her a little bit for a few of them off the air. And I'm going to give her those ones right off the bat to get her into the swing of things. And the first one I mentioned, I was going to ask you about pizza, Laura. And
Yeah.
This question will probably end up being my retirement podcast. I'm going to go back and listen to my old shows and go visit pizza places. But the question is, what is the best pizza you've had because you're a musician? So it could be at one of your gigs, or maybe you ordered pizza while you were recording, or something along those lines.
Yeah. I got an easy answer to this one because some of the best pizza I've ever had, period. I'm going to have to say Yellow Bridge Brewing. They have a location in Greensburg and in Delmont, but the one in Delmont is the one that does music. So I'd specifically direct you to the one in Delmont. If the one in Greensburg's closer, then whatever. But they have both. They have flat pizza, or they have the big square ones. So their pizza's outstanding, out of this world. They do an open mic there every Wednesday, hosted by Dave Stout, and they do regular music there. So they book solo artists, small bands too, but they're very supportive of the local music scene, and they have great pizza.
I've never been in the building in Delmont, but
Yeah.
I did break down there one time on my way to work, and was
Oh.
in their parking lot waiting to be towed. Someday I'm going to stop there, though. I drove
For
past
sure.
it last night.
You're going to have to.
All right, so I also gave you a heads up on the Dave Grohl question, which really is, if who would you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their originals?
Does the person have to be alive, or are you thinking like someone who's passed on?
So
That's an important.
we can hold off on this question, and I'll ask a different question.
Okay.
And you understand? Well, you might understand. Your dad will understand for sure why.
All right. He can help me out then if I need some help.
All right, so you're leaving one of your shows, and there's a DeLorean sitting there with its door up in the air and a flux capacitor in the back seat. And she's definitely looking at him. It is the movie Back to the Future. If you haven't seen it, DeLorean.
Oh, I have. I mean,
okay.
not. I haven't. I don't think I've sat down and watched the whole thing, but
All right, so
I know what you're talking about.
So in part of the storyline is he ends up going back in time, and he ends up playing guitar with Chuck Berry's cousin. So if you were able to go back in time and play with anyone in the history of the world, who would you want to go with?
You probably have gotten this a lot, but I think I'm going to have to say like Elvis Presley, because he's one of the most musical legends of all time, and there are a lot of people that are like pretty obsessed with Elvis, and he's got some great stuff, and he's lots of fun. I think that'd be cool, and I play a lot of Elvis in my regular set. I think that'd be really cool.
Which Elvis songs do you cover?
Oh, I do lots of Elvis. Can't Help Falling in Love, Suspicious Minds, Don't Be Cruel, Burning Love. He's got some good stuff.
Okay, so here's why we did this in order. So you still have a DeLorean. Now I ask you who you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their originals.
Someone who's like still living, you mean?
Nope, you have a time machine. You can pick anybody.
Oh, I could pick anybody.
Yep.
Oh. I think I'm going to stick with like older artists, like maybe someone like Dolly Parton, because she's done so much good in the world, and she's had such a successful music career. And again, she has so much great stuff.
I cannot remember the name of her charity, but she gives free books out to people who are struggling monetarily. So I wish I could remember it, because I would love to plug it here. But you're right. Dolly does do a lot for the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's still at it. So.
And she can still sing.
She's still at it. I got one of her books that she just released for Christmas. I think it's called Star of the Show. And I was expecting it to be, normal book. No, it's this big. It's huge. It took me forever to finish it, but it had some great advice in there for musicians and some great stuff.
Um, so musicians, bands have been known to play in weird places at times. Um, the band Kiss once played in a bay in Australia to sharks, and Metallica has played in Antarctica. And one of my friends who also has a show on Music from 412 has played one of his originals at the geographic South Pole. Um, yes, there's a video of
Wow,
it.
that's
um,
impressive.
where is a non-traditional venue that you'd like to play? So basically, you can pick wherever you want for whatever reason. That reason hit my tongue.
Oh well, we were somewhere the other day and we ran into someone from our old church, and he mentioned that he's been working at a greenhouse. So he said, "How cool would it be if you started like a tour for like a year of only playing greenhouses? Like it could be just the greenhouse tour, you know? You go from one greenhouse to another. It'd be real weird, and I don't know if you'd have much of a crowd at a greenhouse, but I don't know. It might be
I
cool.
mean,
Sing to all the plants."
Sheets is having shows.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're pop-ups. There was I can't remember who it was, but recently in the Pittsburgh area, it was a fairly well-known band, but my old brain isn't going to pop that name into my head right now. But yeah, they like the band knows they're playing, but Sheets announces it like 3 hours ahead of time, and then there were I don't know probably 1,500 people who showed up.
Huh, that's crazy.
So you never know. Maybe greenhouses will start doing it.
Maybe, yeah. Start a new trend.
um, I forewarned you on this one too. Um, let's say you're out on tour, and for some reason you hire me to drive your bus. What kind of music am I going to be playing in between shows?
Oh, like music that I'm telling you to play?
Yes.
Oh, so like if I command you to play music. Um, Probably something like I like a lot of 80s stuff, so something like Journey or like Pat Benatar, Belinda Carlisle, that kind of stuff. Rock out. I love Journey. They're like my favorite. I love them.
Um, if you had a chance to sit down on a bench next to your musical idol, first of all, who would it be? And what would be that first question you asked it to break the ice?
Oh, that's a hard question for me because I listen to such a diverse mix of so much music, and I don't think I'd be able to say that I have a specific person that's like my music idol. Um, like right now, I'm listening to a lot of like Sheryl Crow, like 90s singers. But I think if I could sit down and talk to any musical artist that's had that much success, I think I would just ask them, where it all started and how they pushed past, when it got hard, and people that told them they couldn't do it, or, things like that, because those are real struggles that every musician faces. Should I stick with this, or, I have to have a plan B. What's my plan B going to be? How am I going to get through this? But the people that have made it, I think it'd be really cool to hear their story.
Okay, so we're going to take our second break. It's I asked you if you had seen the show before, and you told me that you had listened to a little bit of the Derek Woods episode.
Yes.
And believe it or not, he is in my queue for tonight's show.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're going to play a new track from the Jaded Lips first called Trouble. And then we're going to play Fall of the Cards by Derek Woods.
That's awesome.
We'll be right back.
All right.